Hey, Flosstube.
That's Julie.
That's Sarah. We're Gulf Coast Stitches. So we're back for an update. We're bobbling the table. I'm going to try not to bobble the table because it's not that steady. So we're outside. It's beautiful. We're quarantined, Memorial Day. Yeah. So we've got lots to show. We've been doing a lot of stitching. Sarah's been stitching every evening. Makes Mama happy. And I guess we can start with Sarah's Quip and her beautiful bag.
This bag was made by Robbie. So cute.
Oh, there's orcs.
Eh. And then now for the guts.
Sorry about the wobbly wobbles.
Well, it's sitting on
I
a
know.
lump right now. So this is from the Emma Congdon book.
Get that on Amazon. It is amazing. We both started, well, I got a wee little start on a project in there, but then Sarah wanted to use it, so.
So this is the chart. And obviously I had to stitch this one because Navy. So it says, a smooth sea never made a skillful sailor. And I think in the model it's stitched on Ada. But I am stitching it on, I think this is
36 count, Winter Moon.
Silver Moon?
No, Winter Moon.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I have so far. I really like stitching this. I love the stitching like the E. That font is really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my little...
Yeah, she's been really
Quip.
making a lot of headway, so this all has to be filled in.
Yeah.
But
And this is going to be the E is going to, and the S and the A that I haven't stitched yet are all going to be filled in. I think it's going to look really good. So far,
I know
so
it is.
good. And as far as threads, I'm just using called for DMC, which don't they look? Ooh, don't they
the
look
red drops made by Mama.
so pretty all together? Really excited. Really excited to use all those colors. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
my
that's
whip.
Sarah's been monogamously stitching. I kind of sort of have, but then I started some. I'm 90% monogamously stitching. So this is my Lisa Smith bag. I absolutely love this bag. I love all my bags, but so this is Maria Futter Appleton, 1831. You guys know I've been working on this for since March. It was March 20th when I started. So this is a reproduction sampler, and I'm in love with it. I've even grown to not hate the 16-point eyelets and 40 count. And this is how far I am. That's a heck of a lot of stitching, guys. I don't remember how many thousand stitches I figured out that the berries were around the outside.
Tons.
But it's tons. They're solid. And then the little leaves around the berries are kind of not so much my favorite part, but I've been making a lot of headway too. I've got like 2/3 of those done. My favorite part is definitely this orange blossom tree. It's so pretty.
I like all the little random birds.
Yes.
Just hanging out.
This pattern right here, this little flower, repeats. So I've done the stems because it's done with precious silks. There's a lot of noise going on outside. We're sitting outside. It's done in thread gatherer silks, which I absolutely love. I bought the kit, the thread kit, and I would have ran out of the orange color, which is called Golden Embers. And throughout this, I have, sorry about the noise, throughout this I have really learned, I've mastered the pin stitch start, which does save me a lot of floss. I start and finish on the front.
And your back looks phenomenal. Can I
My
just say?
back is looking better because I learned how to do the pin stitch. And I can hear Vana in my head saying, it's a game changer, it's a life changer. Never really thought I needed to do that, but when you're...
And look at these little guys here.
Yeah.
I mean...
Here's the called for thread gatherer silks. This is a second skein. I bought a replacement skein, and I don't have a ton. I have a whole nother tree to do, so I don't. I mean, I'm using one strand, but I love these. And since I have bought 12 more skeins of Thread Gatherer just for my collection because I've enjoyed it so much. I hope everyone's been watching Flosstube. I know they have. Jean and Carolyn from the Attic. I'm absolutely loving their Flosstube, and I'm definitely going to be ordering some.
Oh, I forgot to show that little thing Robbie made me.
Oh, this
with mine.
Yeah, and your,
there's orts on it. There's orts everywhere.
This is we're in an ort house.
If you saw, you saw the beautiful bag. My favorite color is pink.
Clearly.
And so Robbie asked me, what's your favorite color? I said pink. I got this beautiful pink bag,
and then it's quilted like it's all pieced together. I don't know the proper quilting terminology, but
yes. Love it. And in the bag also came these two little goodies. I got a little ort catcher,
which she does use. You can see there's contents.
Yes. And then this, I don't even know what I would call this, but
it's just a thread mat.
It is amazing because she sewed a needle minder onto it, and I don't use needle minders on my actual fabric. I usually set the needle minder either like on the armrest next to me or on the table in front of me, so I set my needle on it instead of it being on my thread since I stitch in hand. So this was like the perfect combination.
The evolution of Sarah's like stitching ability in the past, I would say, year. She went from starting off on Ada, like most of us do. Sometimes we go back to Ada, depending on the project. Using a Q-snap, and then there was a little bit of time she used a hoop, and now she's in hand. And her stitches, she's got her tension down on the linen, so I'm so proud of her because her stitches are sitting all plump and pretty.
Thanks, Mom.
Speaking of Robbie, I stitched this. This was a kit from Market, a Lottie Da kit. And it's funny, I stitched this. It took me like a week, which was a really long time because there's not a ton of stitching on it. But it was a little kit and it had all the things. It's got Lady Dot velveteen and Lady Dot trim. And it came with the fabric. And I think it even came with a needle. And I remember like I was such a grumpus about this border. I was like, this border's going to go on forever. And then the next project that I went on to do was Maria Futter Appleton with a bajillion orange berries. So looking back on this, it's like, I could probably do this in one day now. But Robbie beautifully finished this. It's perfecto. So we've been keeping her busy. All right, one more. This is the Robbie show. She also made me this project bag. So this, if you're from Florida, well, I just sent myself. If you have a Publix, not if you're from Florida, Publix has reusable shopping bags like most stores do for sale. And there are larger ones, which is what this was made out of, are made out of recyclable plastic. So they're like this cool crinkly material. And I returned something to Robbie or lent her something in this bag, and this is how she gave it back to me. As a project bag. I mean...
Do you have the little one in there?
The little one is in here. And in true Robbie fashion, I mean, it has a beautiful pull. And she fussy cut a little bag, which I love.
A little dolphin charm, because if you watched our one episode where the dolphins showed up, this is a little...
Yeah, it's choppy out there today. In fact, you might hear the water in the background. It's Memorial Day weekend, ton of boat traffic, so we probably won't see them as well. I don't have a pattern to show of this, but if you check out... I mean, this is the smallest start of all time, but if you check out... There's an app called Silk.
That was not graceful. I thought that would be smooth.
There's an app called Silk, and there are really cool, like... couple of colors or monochrome, like Quakery looking things, and this is the most modest start on a Christmas one that they have there. But here's the colors. I mean,
right up your alley.
Right.
If the other colors are
right up
those are you.
Alley. Yes. Yep. That's really the difference in our palette personalities. Like this is me, golds, and I just love those colors together. So this is I don't even know why I started this because I keep going back to Maria, but I think I just felt, because I'm monogamously stitching, I feel like I felt the need to kit something up. Because I enjoyed the process of going through and picking out
which you got to do for me.
Which I got to do for her. And The other thing with that is, thanks to watching Nicole, Nicole's needlework, and Fauna both talked about how so sorry. Kyle just texted me and said, do I listen to the Murder Squad? Duh. Yes, Kyle.
We could probably mute it.
I don't, well then okay.
We're talking. They can still hear us.
I get so messed up with that. Really? I hope so. I hope you can still hear us.
If the computer is muted, there's still a microphone.
Okay, I don't know these things. Anyway, because I've been working on Maria since March, I hadn't had that, like, kit something new up. So then, yesterday, we were sitting outside because Memorial Day weekend, and I had trouble stitching on this inside, but this is last year's market exclusive kit from Samplers Not Forgotten. It's a portion of the English garden, French garden, I can't remember. One of the garden, the 2019 garden, and it was a kit, and it's super easy to come outside. I mean, the outside light is easy to stitch on. It says tin roof, I believe. So I got a lot of this done yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually having to use my magnifier on this inside, not because I can't, I mean, it's on 36. I can stitch on 40 just fine with my glasses on. But inside, it's just, the fabric is dark. And it's just hard to, it's dark and it's old weeks, which I love. It's not the Zweigart based weeks, but it's the looser weave. So the weave slips a little. Easy to misjudge where the holes are. So I've been having to use my little day lamp. But, I mean, I can finish this today. The only thing I don't know if I'm going to do, full disclosure, so this is so pretty, but it's so fussy, and I'm thinking I could just run a decorative ribbon down the side of that. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'll finish the urn and the flowers, like, in a day, but that...
You have the majority of it done already.
Yeah, I do. So... And I'm using a Fripperies, inside Frippery joke, thread keep, because this came with all the needed weeks threads, but they were just all, I'm not going to say they were wadded up, but they weren't separated or anything, so. Using that guy, he's so cute. And it had the exact number of holes I needed, which was a happy coincidence. And... pulled this out just because occasionally I want to make a washcloth. I really like using cotton washcloths inside the shower. So I finished this one. It still has to be blocked and washed, but I like the color of this. It's a sugar, peaches and cream, just one of those variegated cottons, but it's 100% cotton. Like I said, I still have to block it, but we use them in the shower. And I have a start on this one. And this one I'm doing a different stitch. It's got like a ribbing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. It's not ribbed on it's revert. It's I don't know the terms, but you rib it 2 times on this side, and then I'll rib it 2 times on the other side. So, but it'll be nice it'll make a good scrubby. It's really dense. And then this bag is just full of cotton smalls, because that's the brand Sugar and Cream, because sometimes you just feel like, I mean, I'm obsessed with stitching on my sampler, so I shouldn't say that sometimes I feel like doing something different, but I've been working on that, and Sarah doesn't even know I got this yet, but this is going to be my next start, and it's going to be for her new apartment at college.
What?
It's very unique. It is a reproduction. It is considered a sampler. It is Scandinavian, and I think it is so flippin' cool.
Whoa! That is cool.
A Peacock folk heart. So, you see?
Yes, I see.
So, it's like the illusion of an anatomical heart in the general shape, but it has 2 peacocks. And I think it's super pretty. And I think it'd be really cool in the dorm.
Yeah.
So, and it's really small. 138 by 99. I mean, compared to what I'm doing now, I could do this, and I'm going to do this while watching TV. So, Netflix update, before we go on to shop update.
Oh, my favorite thing.
Shop update or Netflix update?
Yes. them next to each other.
Okay. So, we binge watched the entire 7 seasons of Mad Men. My husband tolerated it.
We were crying, laughing.
Swooning. And I think it annoyed him because we love Don Draper, and Don could be kind of a jerk. Who cares? We still love him. So we watched Mad Men. What else have we watched? Outer Banks.
Yes. We kind of binged Outer Banks, to be honest, in
We
like
did.
3 days.
Yeah. It's only 10 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
We've been watching The Innocence Files because
it's so interesting.
I love The Innocence Project. We've also watched, we watched a couple episodes. A really good show that mixes true crime and pop culture is called Trial by Media. It's really pretty cool. It shows you, like, we watched 2 or maybe 3 episodes, and the cases were, like, one was from the 80s, and one was from the 90s, and they show you, like, all the news footage from that time, if the news anchors and the crime reporters are still alive. I think there were a few that had passed, but they talk to, like, you see the footage of them when they were covering the case in real time, and then they interview them now, so it's kind of
about how the media influences crime and then the subsequent trials that happen because of
how
the crime.
It doesn't only influence the outcome of trials, it also, media and pop culture also influence the trends in crime and victimology, so it's really pretty cool. So we've been watching that.
We watched Hollywood.
Okay. Trigger warning. If you're bothered by any hot button social topics, racism, sexuality, language, it's not the show for you.
Nudity sometimes.
Full Monty nudity sometimes. But if you are like, if you're open to viewing all that and you just want to see an amazing screenplay, if this show does not get Emmy nods, I imagine it would get Emmys because it's on Netflix. Yeah. But didn't they say that the Academy may recognize some Netflix? But maybe not movies because it's a series.
It's a series. Yeah.
So anyway, I hope it gets Jim Parsons, also, famous for being Sheldon Cooper.
So far from Sheldon Cooper in this series.
Jim Parsons' performance in that show. I mean, we had goosebumps at the end of it.
Yeah, we did.
So the premise is old Hollywood. All things glitzy, over the top acting. Everyone has the transatlantic fictitious accent. There's a storyline. The cool thing is it's a fictitious story, but about half of the cast is based on real Hollywood personalities.
Yes.
So the character that Sheldon Cooper plays was a real manager.
Jim Parsons plays.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Sorry about hitting the table. Sorry about that, Jim. Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson is kind of portrayed
very, very gullible and
he's definitely not how I would have ever thought, and he's kind of portrayed as like
country bumpkin.
Yeah, but the whole premise of the show is it's like how the 40s would have been, how old Hollywood would have been if everything went different. So like if interracial relationships
if racism
were
wasn't a thing,
if homophobia wasn't a thing.
Wasn't a thing.
All of these reverses on what actually happened in the 40s. It's so cool to watch.
So the whole show is about the making of a movie from start to finish, and then it culminates with the Academy Awards and how things could have been different if people were not such jerks. Yeah.
But it's the acting. Okay, you do kind of have to be. If you like theater, you'll love it. If you think theater is ridiculous and you're like, I can't sit through a theatrical play.
It's not a musical, but it has the vibe of
it is very
theater.
Theatrical, yeah.
But if you're a fan of old shows and old movies, that's how the acting was, because the production wasn't as great as it is now. There wasn't overdubbing, and there wasn't the sound editing wasn't the same, and this was filmed on a reel, and so many things can be manipulated now that couldn't be then. So it was all translated just by very over the top.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack is, I could watch it again. But like I said, trigger warning, if it's not family friendly.
It's rated R.
Yeah. It's rated way R. So we watched that. I feel like there's something else last night we watched just the coolest 39-minute show.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Called
Heroine.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Heroine was the 30-minute one.
Okay.
The other one was longer.
Heroine was great. It was about the women on the front lines in small town America fighting the heroin problem. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched Cracked Up, which was a fascinating documentary.
We love a good documentary.
We love a documentary. A fascinating documentary about how childhood trauma really affects somebody's life. And I forget.
Daryl Hudson or Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond. Longest running person ever on Saturday Night Live, which we did not know.
Amazing impressionist.
And just a fascinating person who, through therapy and help and being able to be connected with the right people, really kind of uncovered his childhood traumas that led him to lots of problems in his life. So it's fascinating.
Another semi-trigger warning, though, they do talk about difficult things like suicide, so if that's something that you...
But it's interesting to watch him explain his mental experience.
Yes, it's so... Especially if you're someone who's interested in mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that, it's amazing.
And happy endings. I mean, he's doing well. So, that there is an author that's mentioned in that. He's featured in the documentary a few times, and he wrote a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and I downloaded it on Audible. I've heard it mentioned a few times on My Favorite Murder, and it just makes total sense about how, like, your experiences and trauma affect all of your systems, not just... Like, they don't just give you bad dreams. Like, it can affect your blood pressure and your stress hormone, your cortisol levels, and all kinds of stuff. So, anyway, super interesting. So, we watched both of those. I feel like we've really watched a lot.
Yeah, we've really been on that couch.
We've been stitching. I returned to the campus this week. If you have made an order from the shop, you haven't heard from me, please. I've had so many people say, like, I've emailed you and I haven't heard back. You guys know that is not me. That is not like me. So if you send an email to my email address and you haven't heard back, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else, because when we moved to remote working at the college, my work emails and my personal /shop emails merged. They merged those accounts so that I would get push notifications on my phone and on my Surface Pro for work and on my MacBook for home, and it's a lot of emails. So I'm not perfect. I've missed a few. So if you're waiting on something or something doesn't seem right and you haven't heard from me or from Sarah please hit Sarah up on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever, and know that that's what's happened, because I've had a few people reach out and said, I haven't heard back to my email. The email situation's bad. We're remotely, so I work in the testing center at the state college, and we are in enrollment period, so we're having to do placement testings remotely. It is not easy. It's not easy for the candidate to be, sometimes I tell the parents on the phone, I feel like I am navigating them through a maze blindfolded across the telephone. So, yeah. So if you haven't heard from me, please reach out. All right.
I did start a book also about a week ago, and it's called All the Missing Girls. I don't have it with me because I didn't plan on talking about it.
Somebody Miranda.
Anyway, if you have a chance to read it and you like kind of like whodunits, it's pretty good so far. I'm only about, I would say, like a quarter of the way through with it, but the premise is dad has dementia. He says, I saw this girl. They're like, what girl? He says her name. Bam, she's been missing for 20 years, and he said he saw her. Do they believe him? Is it dementia? I don't know. But his daughter is going to figure it out.
Ooh.
So there you go.
I'm into that for sure. I downloaded I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I know they'll never ever watch this because they're not into cross-stitch, but I just got a message on my computer from Kyle asking me if I watched the Murder Squad. Paul Holes, Billy Jensen, two of my favorite people ever. Billy Jensen's book, Chase Darkness with Me, I super recommend. He uses social buying geographic coverage on Facebook to solve he's solved like I think about 4 or 5 cold cases just by purchasing Facebook reach, which I didn't even know was a thing you could do in geographic areas, and it's pretty interesting. So CrimeCon is happening in October. I want to go to all the things. But anyway, yes, I love the Murder Squad. Murder Squad, True Crime Garage. I started a new podcast, Motive for Murder, which is Chris Mankiewicz from Dateline. I like his voice. So, yeah, listen to all those things. And I love Criminal. This is Criminal. I'm Phoebe Judge, and this is Criminal's cool if you don't, like, if you just are interested in, it's just topical. There's just tons of topics. It's not all, like, this person died and this person killed him. No, there's all kinds of really cool local stories and...
I actually just started a new podcast.
Folklore and all kinds of things. So we're just rambling at this point.
For real. Hang on.
We do have shop updates, but first we'll figure out.
Listening to Congratulations by Chris D'Elia. If you like comedy, he's hilarious. And he's a good laugh in the middle of, like, quarantine stuff. And he's from New Jersey. He's cool. I don't know. He's just fun to listen to talk. So, yeah, I started.
And of course, we listen to Fiber Talk. We listen to that. Mm-hmm. Crime Junkie I like pretty good. There's a few I've downloaded that I haven't listened to anything of. The Stuff You Missed in History Class is pretty fantastic, too. Okay, shop update.
Okay.
These are new to the shop. They will be added by the time this video uploads.
Lindy.
Sideways.
Beautiful things. Oh. Well, the back is straight, so that threw me off. So cute.
So,
I hope there's not a glare. It says, "Oh, my darling, it's true. Beautiful things have dents and scratches, too."
So cute.
She always has the cutest messages in her charts, too. Okay, you can go next.
Cut your thistles. Cut your thistles before St. John, or you will have 2 instead of 1. Cute.
Next, we have hands-on designs, the Secret Santa, Merry and Bright, and Silent Night. I think these are kind of cool because they're like jazzy Santas.
Oh.
You know what I mean? This
For
guy.
real.
And then this guy's literally
a jazz Santa.
Jazz Santa. Super cute.
So
Silent Night, question mark?
Definitely not silent.
Yeah.
So cool. Kathy has such a cool way with lettering. And also hands-on design. Bloom Chockful. And then I got a surprise package from Heartstring Samplery. I just missed this probably in the emails that this was coming with new releases. Let you do that one.
This is the Flanders Field Biscorn U. And Flanders Field, if you don't know about the story of Flanders Field, I recommend looking it up.
Big boat going by.
Yeah. It's the poppy fields that the Marine Corps ran through, and it's just a really powerful place for armed service members, but that's a rant in and of itself. This is a cute chart.
Memorial Day.
Yes.
And when we think we could not see another honeybee.
And love it.
Honeybee pin drum. I like this part. It's so cute. And this, it's all very cute. And you know, if anyone has street cred to put out some bee charts, it is Beth Twist. And this is it. Laura, Brenda, Michelle times 2, Michelle Bruce, Michelle Rudy. Check this out. It's a book, y'all. I'm so happy. Beth, if you're watching, please keep making books. This is awesome. I'm sorry about the crazy boat noise. So this is the Mary Pearson sampler. So this is the original on the front, and I'm like, I don't know. It's really dense. That's got a boatload of grass, Brenda. But then on the back, you can see the reproduction sampler of it. And even if you're not, even if this intimidates you, which it shouldn't because it's giant blocks of color, which is not hard, and the border is divine, but you could just do this, or pick these motifs out. Let's see. It says, make much of precious time while in your power. Be careful well to husband every hour, for time will come when you shall for lament the unhappy minutes that you have misspent. Mary Pearson, her work. And I'm not going to show the whole chart because, laws. But I do want to show you I'm going to show you just a fraction of a page. So look how big and easy to read that is. Like, this is so a 10 by 10 block on this is probably like 2 inches.
Yeah.
So don't be scared. There were a few stitches in here that I was like, oh my gosh, that dress has a few specialty stitches, but there's great directions.
It's a nice book.
It's a beautiful book. I'm so happy to see Beth sticking with her printer. I know it was a local printer that she uses, and I love it. So I'm sure this is I'm not saying it's a limited edition or anything, but I'm sure that there's a finite number of the books because she's doing some stuff on PDF, but I have plenty. So I'm going to add these to the shop today. And that's it. That's shop update. I haven't done a ton of shopping because COVID. I've done some. If you listen to any Flosstube, you know that fibers and fabric are in short supply. Luckily, we have a hoard here at the house for our own stitching, but I've had lots of people reach out to me and ask me, if I had this floss by Gentle Arts or do I have this fabric, and I'm sorry. The best thing to do is just pick up the phone and start calling needle workshops. A lot of them are not open, but they are taking orders by phone or online. And the only other thing I want to say about that is there's been a lot of talk online about supporting your brick and mortars. Absolutely. I support brick and mortars. I'm going to place an order with Jean at the attic. I'll probably put an email order in today. But your people who have online shops at home like me, we too have a huge investment in this business. And we all we were surrounded by other online shop owners at market, and a week later, global pandemic. So everyone in the industry has been impacted. It's true that those of us who have at-home businesses don't have this same type of overhead as the brick and mortar shops do, but we still have a huge investment in our business, and we still are here for you. And we're all important to this industry. The more, there's not a brick and mortar shop for 300-400 miles around us. Mm-hmm. So the online shops are important too. So support everybody, stimulate that economy, buy all the things. We hope to hear from you soon. If you would, leave a comment, subscribe, find us on social media. We have our little victory garden is doing fantastic. Sarah posts garden updates. We are the proud parents of tomatoes and yellow squash and jalapenos. And yeah, so we hope you guys have a happy stitchy week and a happy Memorial Day. Bye.